Everybody, I am coming back to give you a little look-see at my things that I got at the thrift store and yard selling yesterday, and tell you a little story and about what happened yesterday. So anyway, I was out doing my errands yesterday, running my errands, and that usually keeps me out a good part of the day, and it did yesterday as well. But while I was out, I also stopped at a yard sale that I saw, and I went to the thrift store that I don't go to that often, and not after my experience, it kind of, I don't know if I want to go back. No, it's not. That's not true. I will go back. I'm sure that it'll be fine when I go back, but I'll have to tell you what happened. But anyway, I stopped at a yard sale, and they had a lot of clothes there. It was, didn't have a lot of other things. And usually when I go yard sailing, I'm looking for things for crafts and things for vintage glass. Have a big collection. Well, not a big collection. I can't say big. I know there are people that have huge collections, but I have a collection of vintage glass, and I've actually started collecting more because I'm later in the summer, towards the end of summer, after all of my vacationing and things like that I have to do this summer is over. I'd like to start an Etsy shop where I'm going to sell some vintage glass because I can't keep all of it, and it's hard for me not to buy something that I see that I love, but I'm going to start selling it on Etsy, so that kind of gives me, an excuse to go out shopping for more vintage glass. But anyway, so that's what I'm up to. But anyhow, at the yard sale, I found just these scarves, but these are beautiful scarves. These are like infinity scarves, and I love this one with a leopard print and the different animal prints on it. It's really pretty. So I like to buy these scarves and use them for use the material for tassels. And if you've seen my hippie camper video, on the inside, all my curtains are made out of scarves that I cut apart and made curtains out of. So, and I also want to make a hippie flag type thing for outside of my hippie camper, so I'm looking for some stuff for that. So that was one of the scarves I found. These were 50 cents a piece, so I thought that was a pretty awesome deal. And this one, I absolutely love this one. I almost don't want to cut it up. I don't know what I would do. I'm not really a big scarf wearer, but I so love this scarf. I might just keep it whole and put it in my hippie camper. It's so cute. I love the colors, and it's just beautiful. I love it. 50 cents, you can't beat that, right? So pretty. I don't know. I might break down and cut it apart, but I kind of don't want to right now. I have a few scarves I can't bear to cut them apart, so. And then I found this one, which I thought was really pretty. I love this one. Not a lot of color, but I love the design and the feel of it. It's real soft. So I got 3 scarves for 50 cents each. So that was my yard sale haul. And then I went to the thrift store. And like I said, I don't often go to this particular thrift store. And it's not because it's not a nice thrift store. It actually is a very nice one. But usually the prices are something that, like, I don't want to pay that much. It's not that it's not worth it. I think the man knows what he has, and he knows what it's worth. So you're not going to get, a deal if you're looking for a deal, and I'm usually looking for a deal. But the one thing is, he has a corner full of books, and, he charges you like 10 cents for the books. So I looked around there, and the only thing I did come out of there with were some books, and I did find a vintage mug from the 70s that it's downstairs. I didn't bring it up, but and I had bought that. But I found these really cute books. This one is a book to show children how to draw animals. And I thought it was really neat. It goes step by step. I don't know what year this was 1970. It's this little picture, I guess, of the author, and it says, "For the boy I was, the book I could not find." And so he shows you how to draw little shapes, different shapes that you'll be drawing to make animals. And this is really cute. You get to go step by step how to like draw a little bug, draw a spider, draw a tadpole. He calls them a pollywog. That's cute. A little bird, a caterpillar. These are really, really cute. Turtles and porcupines. So I just thought this was a really cute book. And they get more difficult as you go along. There's a lion and a cat. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, look, the shaggy dog. The wolf, fox. This is really cute. So I thought this is a really cute book to use for some junk journals. And then I found this reptile and amphibian book, and it has lots of great pictures of all kinds of reptiles and things. There's toads and different turtles. There's lizards in here. Snakes. I won't show the snake pictures in case somebody doesn't like snakes. So that was a pretty neat book. I used that a lot. And then I found this one called Christmas Delights. And I loved the images in here. There are not a lot of images in here, but they're really great ones. Look at that. That is so cute. And there's also some like Christmas poems in here. Great little images down there. But look at these. Aren't these pretty? I love these. So for 10 cents, you know, you can't pass that up. And the paper's real thick. Some more poetry. And look at these little girls. Aren't they adorable? Isn't that cute? There's old Mother Hubbard. Yeah, so I thought this was really, really cute. And I don't know what year it was printed. But, like I said, it was really thick paper. And so that was a great deal. And then I found these beautiful bird images in this book. And you cannot beat it for 10 cents, that's for sure. And these are a really thick paper, like a textured paper. There's the Baltimore Oriole. I saw one of these in my tree just a little while ago out here in the tulip tree. And they build a nest every year. And I was saying in my other video that they build a hanging nest, and it's one of the things that, you know, we always like to lay on the ground and with the grandkids and stuff and see if we can find it, because they build them up really high in a tree, And they're hard to find. I mean, they really are. You have to look and look to find them. And the one year, we knew they were up there because we could see them flying in and out of the tree, but we never did find the nest. So, anyway, but these are beautiful images. There's a bobolink. I see a lot of those around. Cardinals. These are just beautiful. You could just frame these. I think that that's probably what they were maybe meant for. Little wren. And a blue jay. And robins. Really pretty. Beautiful. Those are yellow warblers. Aren't they pretty? Oh, I love these. It's beautiful. So I found that one. And while I was looking through, I also found this one. A same artist. Now this one's a little bit dilapidated there in the front. Well, a couple of pages are. But still some of the images are good. It's the same thing. It has this nice paper. And some of these are actually like a repeat of the ones that were in the other book. The cardinal, the bobolink. They may all be repeats, I'm not really sure. Now, here's just some black and white images. Barn swallows, we have a lot of those. So pretty. I'd love to see them going right above the water to get bugs off of the pond. So the swallows, pretty. And there's a bluebird, which we have lots and lots of bluebirds out here. Just saw some this morning when I was sitting at the kitchen table. I could see them out the window sitting on the dogwood tree. In fact, this one's sitting on a pink dogwood tree. Ours are white. And there's the Baltimore Orioles again. Very pretty. So, those were pretty good finds for 10 cents each. And then I got this book. It's an antique shop guide for all these different states. Now, this is a real old one, and but I liked the images, the pages in it. I thought they would make great painty paper, and junk journal paper. Some of these have some ads cut out, so apparently these were places people were going to check out. But as I was looking through here, and I should have marked it, I found some ads for antique places near where I used to live. In fact, in the town I used to live in Pennsylvania, because there was a lot of antique stores around where I lived. And so I found a lot of ads for those things. And like I said, there's maps in here, kinds of maps. And so I thought this was pretty neat. I like this a lot. So there's also some images of some antiques. They're in black and white, but I really thought this was pretty cool. So for 10 cents, I'll get lots and lots of use out of this. So anyway, so that was my haul. But the story that I wanted to tell you was that when I went to the thrift store, there's the gentleman that owns the place. He was sitting behind the counter, and when I went in, there was a young man sitting in a chair up front. And I really wasn't paying attention. I went in, you know, kind of knowing what I was looking for, and I started looking around. And I was in there for maybe a half hour or whatever. But I kind of worked my way from the back to the front. And as I came around, the young man was still sitting there talking to the owner. and he had his leg up. He had on not boxer shorts, like basketball shorts. They're kind of loose. And he had those on, and because it was really warm out. And he had his leg propped up, with his ankle of one leg up on his knee. And so as I was coming around the corner, they had some little low tables there with stuff on them, and I was looking, and I just looked over and realized that this young man was commando, and all of his junk was hanging out. And I mean, all of it. So I was like, it was because of the way his leg was propped up there that everything was exposed. And of course, you quickly look away because, you're in shock. That wasn't exactly what I was expecting to see at the thrift store. And then it just kind of like made me nervous. I just wanted to get out of there, So I get up to the counter and I have all this stuff here. And the gentleman that owns the place, he's a nice man. And he's very chatty. And so I got up there and he asked me what I was going to do with this book. He said, "Are you going antiquing?" And I said, "No, I'm going to use it in my mixed media art." And he said he started talking about art and telling me all the type of art that he does, the paint, like he likes to paint. And he got into a big story about it. And, the whole time, I wanted to enjoy his story. I really did. But the whole time in the back of my mind, I was thinking, that young man's junk is hanging out. So, I didn't want to be the one to tell him. Like, I think another guy should say, "Hey, dude, your junk's hanging out," or something. But, I don't want it to be me. So I was kind of like, not short or anything, but I just wanted to, I didn't talk long. I was like, okay, well, I have to go because I couldn't get it out of my mind. But I think it, and I came home and I said to my husband about it, and I said, "I don't think it was intentional." And he said, "Honey, any man that's got a junk hanging out has to know it." And I said, "Well, I don't think he did," but he just kind of, grinned at me and said, "Well, he probably knew." I said, "Well, I don't know, but, that makes me even more nervous if he did know it was hanging out." But anyway, so, and I said to my husband, that just brings back, like, the memories of, times when I have accidentally seen things I didn't mean to see. And we were talking about my one of the incidents when I lived in this apartment. I lived in an old house, and I lived on a second floor apartment. And down below me lived a young man. And he was a nice kid, he had a girlfriend. And I walked a lot at night. I worked during the day, and in the evening I would walk for 3 or 4 miles every evening. So I would be out of the house for a while. And it was usually dark by the time I got back, and sometimes it was dark when I left, depending on what was going on. But I lived in a small town, and, it wasn't something you had to really worry about walking at night. Well, anyway, this young man had a girlfriend, and they would get to chasing each other around and giggling downstairs, and I would be like, think it's time for my walk, So the one night, they were kind of carrying on down there, and I was like, well, time to go for a walk before things get serious. So I went out, and I was walking, and I was gone for a while, and when I came back to the house, the way the house was set up, the sidewalk ran straight, and then it turned to, like, made kind of like a little dog leg turn, and went for me to get to my stairway outside to go up to my apartment. But as you're walking straight in, there was a window, and it was an old house, so the windows were those really tall windows that went almost floor to ceiling. There was a window right, like directly in front of you, which would have looked into this downstairs apartment's kitchen area. And I'm bebopping along. I got my headphones on, and I turn and I'm coming up the sidewalk and I look up and my neighbor and his girlfriend were sitting at the kitchen table buck naked. Nothing except that he had a cowboy hat on. I don't even want to know what that was about. But anyhow, and they were eating cereal. And my husband thought it was funny that I knew what kind of cereal it was. I said, well, it's because it was right in the middle of the table and facing me. So it was like I couldn't really miss it. But I said, and from that day on, no Honey Bunches of Oats for me. So anyway, I was like, are you kidding me? Didn't you realize that, like, your light's on and there's no curtain? Everyone could see. But anyway, so, that was just one of the many incidences where I have seen things that I did not intentionally mean to see, and just kind of brought back those memories yesterday. So anyway, that's my story, and that's my haul, and I will talk to you all later. Okay, bye.